Alright, so this is your Module 6 activity, the Conveyor Belt Case Study Part 2. Now this is based on the table. It's table A2.10 in your textbook on page 651. Now I know if you're using ebook, it may be a different page. So basically what you're doing is you're doing Part 2 here. So make sure you do numbers 1 through 5. So as you can see here, I've already put in January 4th, 2010 in the project schedule. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at this table here, the Conveyor Belt Project Schedule, table A2.10. So this is because we have to create a schedule that contains all of the activities, the numbers, descriptions, resources, durations, and the preceding activities. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing that we see here, we have architectural decisions. So here is architectural decisions in our project. Now the resource here is design. So we'll go to our resource here, and we're going to type in design. Now every time you add a new resource here, it'll be part of the drop-down box. I just wanted to note that, so that when you have to do design again, you won't have to type it in. You could just bring down the drop-down menu and check the box. All right, so we have the duration here is 25 days. So we'll put in 25, and that's our 25 days. Okay, so it doesn't have any preceding activity. There's no predecessors here, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to do the next one just to show you how this works. And this one is hardware specifications. And here is hardware specifications. So our duration here is going to be 50 days. Our resource, we're going to put in development first. And then we're also going to choose design, and we have both of them in wideness so you can see it. So you can see their development and design is in there. We have 50 days, and our preceding activity, it says here 1 in this column. So what does 1 mean? Well, 1 is activity 1, and activity 1 is architectural decisions. So our predecessor is going to be the architectural decisions here. And so we'll check this box, and it'll automatically fill in the dates for us. All right, so I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this in, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I've included everything that was on this table. Now notice you'll have a red squiggly line underneath the finish date. So the start and finish date can't be the same date, right? Because look how late this is finishing. This is finishing in 2012. So if you hover over this, it will give you a message. And you can right click this and you fix in Task Inspector. So we're going to move the finish date. There we go. So that takes care of that, and that fixes the problem. So let's talk about the next thing we need to do. We need to add the slack. So what is slack? So slack is also called float. It is the amount of time a task can slip before it bumps into another task. It's automatically calculated into your project when you schedule tasks, and you can use it as a buffer time if needed when your schedule is at risk of being delayed. So by default and by definition, a task with 0 slack is considered a critical task. If a critical task is delayed, the project finish date is also delayed. So to build some slack into your critical path, you can change the default setting for the slack in the task are critical if slack is less than or equal to box in the calculation options tab of the project options dialog box. That's, you go to file, you go to file, and then you have your options down here at the bottom. Alright. So to make sure your project finishes on time, try optimizing tasks that have slack and are not on the critical path. For example, use free slack to delay a task, or assign this resource to another task to help prevent the schedule from slipping. So how do we find the slack? The one thing we can do here is we can go to the View tab here, and we can click other views and then more views. Hang on a second, let me put this over here. Let me put the column. Let me go to the different column here so we don't accidentally insert another column here. More views. And then we're going to click the detail GAN. We'll find detail. Here's detail GAN. So we'll just, I'm going to double click it here. Alright, so now we have, let me open this a little bit more here. So we're showing some detail here. Let me maybe check and make sure that it is. There we go. Just make sure it was in there. All right. So we have the detail Gantt, and now we're going to go to tables, and we'll click on. Hang on a second here. Tables. There we go. And we'll click on schedule. And now we've added the Slack. Notice how we have a late start and a late finish and our free Slack here. Alright, so now we still need to add early start and early finish columns. So how do we do that? So we have new column here, and we can just right click on this, and we're going to look for the early start. And there's our early start here. Alright, so let's add, we're going to add in another column. Close this here, there we go. Then we have another column. And then we're going to do our early finish. And we're going to do the same thing and look for early finish. And there's our early finish column. So there we go. Alright, so now don't forget to finish the rest of part 2. I think it's, we fixed the date for the project begins in January 4th, 2010. So you need to finish the rest of it. Make sure that you have your holidays in there. Make sure that if a holiday falls on a Saturday, then Friday will be given as extra day off. And if it falls on a Sunday, then Monday will be given as a day off. And then that project team works 8-hour days, Monday through Friday. And then continue, then make sure you address the questions in part 2 as well. Alright, so like I said, just make sure you finish all of part 2. This was just to help you get started. I hope it helps. You can also go in and you can just use this. You can just widen the columns to try to give it some, so it's easier to read. Right there, it's easier to read here. Whoops. Sometimes that happens. There we go. Let me fix that. Alright, so this is just to help you get started. I hope it helps. If you get stuck, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. Alright, thank you for watching. Oh, before I leave, I almost forgot. The last part here asks you to do a network diagram highlighting the critical path. So how do you get to the network diagram? Well, it's right here. Under the View tab, there's Network Diagram. So you just click that and just click on Network Diagram. This will show, this just basically shows you the flow of all the tasks. And as you can scroll through here, you can see some of these tasks, like I said, it just shows the flow of the task. And some of these are red and some of these are blue. Now the red tasks here are the tasks that are in the critical path. Okay, I just wanted to outline that for you. So thank you for watching.